The guest house lobby had been engulfed by silence. Yeah, there we go. The strings of tension which bound Kraus, Natsuki, and Eva had already loosened. They were completely tired, and their consciousness was beginning to waver. Every once in a while, they would stand up and walk around pointlessly, fighting their drowsiness.
大丈夫ですか、エヴァさん。やはり無理をせず、休んでいてください。
大丈夫だって言ってるわ。もう大人は私たち3人しかいないのよ。休んでる暇なんかないわ。石にかじりついてでもここを死守するわよ。
Unbeknownst to her, her son has flown out the window.
Yeah, he's going for a ride. She spoke a brave line, but she couldn't hide her rough breathing. It seemed that the fever, which had been calmed with medicine for a time, had returned. It was very obvious that Ava's condition was not good.
無理はするな。せめて目を閉じていたまえ。もし起こさねばならぬときは必ず起こしてやるから。
だから平気だって言ってるわ。
Doesn't sound like it.
放っておいて。
Jeez.
It seemed that she had now become stubborn. Like she wasn't before. Kraus and Natsuki realized that no matter what else they said to her in her current state, it wouldn't reach her ears. So they decided to say nothing more and to let her be. To Ava right now, even an argument like that was putting a burden on her. It would probably be better for her if she just sat there with her mouth closed. As a matter of fact, Ava was already on the point of succumbing to her drowsiness. She might have talked back with a temper because she was trying to encourage herself and throw off her sleepiness. The clock would very soon be pointing to 6 in the afternoon. Because she had been snacking over and over again to fool her drowsiness, she didn't feel hungry, but instead her lack of sleep made it feel like it was 6 in the morning rather than in the afternoon. Even supposing that the boat would come at precisely 9 in the morning tomorrow, there were still more than 12 full hours to go. That was a dizzyingly long stretch of time. Long. Painful. Hot. I'm, yeah. Even... Wait a minute, what?
What? Long, painful, hot. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, let's just keep moving. Even the sound of the clock torments my body now. In times like this, he would put his hand on my forehead and the fever would always fade at once. And he would put his long, hot, painful... But he isn't here anymore. As Ava's mind grew foggy, she was once again gripped by a deep sadness. She had already cried herself dry. Even so, the sadness from losing her beloved husband had not been exhausted.
私は間違っていたんだわ。
どうして?
Originally, the new witch had been the same being as Ava. If Ava talked to her, she would always
私
respond.
は後宮家の当主の座さえ得られれば、それで満足のはずだった。それがあの黄金の山を見た途端に欲が増えたの。あの黄金の山を独り占めしたい気持ちに駆られた。
それは恥じることでも何でもないわ。だって後宮家の当主として当然の権利じゃない。他の誰にも黄金のひとかけらだって譲るものかってのよ。
私がその誘惑にとらわれたからあなたが生まれてしまったんだわ。あなたは私の少女時代の心であると同時に自分勝手でしかない私のよこしまな心でもあった。そのあなたがあの黄金の山によって芽生えた私の愚かな欲望のせいで私の胸という卵の殻を破りこの世に生まれ出てしまった。あなたを産んだのは私の責任。
なら私が殺したローザとマリアも、そしてルドルフとキリエと秀吉もあなたの責任ってことになるわ。
どうしてうちの人まで殺したのよ。どうして。
Damn.
Ava's just getting shredded.
Yeah, she is.
だってうるさくてしつこかったんだもの。その意味では私たちの、いえ、あなたの責任ね。あんなのを旦那に選んだあなたの責任だわ。
あなたみたいな子供にあの人の良さはわからないわよ。あなた。
何よ。私たちは魔法で夢を叶えたのよ。碑文の謎を解いたわ。そして黄金を見つけ、当主の指輪を手にしたわ。すべての夢を叶えきったわ。それがなんで不満なの？
それだけが全ての夢なんかじゃないわ。あの人と素敵な人生を歩んで、ジョージに素晴らしい人生を託す。妻として、母として。私にはまだ叶えなければならない夢がたくさんあるのよ。それなのに
それはあなたが大人になってから勝手に増やした夢だわ。私たちの夢じゃない。
だからあなたは子供なのよ。自分さえ良ければいいの？そうよ。全て私が悪いのよ。あの時ローザの言うことにどうして私は反抗したの？どうして兄弟みんなに黄金を見つけたと発表できなかったの？全て私が醜いから。黄金を独り占めしたくて芽生えさせた横島な心があなたを孵化させてしまった。
ひどい嫌われようだわ。私たちは二人で後ろ宮エヴァなのに。
いいえ、もう違うわ。そしてそれはあなたが言ったのよ。私は後ろ宮エヴァ、そしてあなたは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェよ。だからもう消えて。魔女なんておとぎ話の中にしか存在できない妄想よ、幻想よ。あなたなんか消えてしまえ。
So it seems like
二度と私の前に現れないで。
it seems like Battler is starting to want to accept witches, but even if okay, let's just say Battler loses the game and accepts witches. Witches can't exist apparently until everybody accepts them, and it doesn't look like Ava is going to accept the existence of witches anytime soon.
Right. Well, I mean, she's a piece too, so I don't know if a distinction is made between players and pieces. Like, does it matter if the pieces don't believe in her, or is she only trying to get Battler to believe in her?
I think all the pieces need to believe in her.
Okay. That's interesting, because it seems like in every other aspect, the pieces are pretty much powerless. You know?
Mm-hmm. I think everybody needs, all the pieces need to believe in her, including Battler.
Interesting.
ああ、そう。
Oh.
わかったわ。
I thought there was more to that.
あなたの前から消えてあげるわ。そして私はもう後ろ宮エヴァじゃない。これからは黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェよ。もう好き勝手に遊んでやるんだから。あんたなんて知らないわ。へそでも噛んで勝手に死んじゃえば。
Good lord. After having a fittingly childlike tantrum, the witch who had once been another Ava vanished. Only Ava was left behind in the darkness, and she questioned herself.
私なの。私があの人を殺してしまったの。私が殺してしまったの。
Now, that question was one she herself would never answer. Okay.
The witch is killing people, probably.
She got poisoned? I don't know. It seemed that half asleep she'd gotten some saliva caught in her windpipe just as she was dozing off. Ava suddenly started coughing.
大丈夫か、エヴァ。夏日、水を頼む。
はい。大丈夫だってば。ちょっとむせちゃっただけなんだから。
Ava pushed away Natsuhi's hand as she tried to rub her back and unsteadily rose to her feet. No, she's gonna get separated.
They're not gonna kill her. They're aiming for
yeah.
Natsui and Kraus, right?
Yeah, that's I realized that right after I said that.
Oh, but then they're gonna be the only two left in the room, and nobody's gonna witness it. Shit.
And she has a gun, so
oh,
that's
fuck.
one less gun to contend with.
Damn.
明日の朝まで眠気が来なくなるようなやつを。
頼む。ゴーダの入れるコーヒーよりお前が入れるコーヒーの方が私の好みに合うからな。
Well, the one that Goda made.
お世辞でも嬉しいわ。すぐ戻るわ。
Ava exited the lobby, heading for the lavatory. Kraus and Natsuhi watched over her frail back.
あなたもあれだけ犬猿の中だったエヴァさんに気をつけ。
本来兄とはこういうものではないのか
ね。ええ、それで正しいと思います。
エヴァに限らん。ルドルフにもローザにも。私がした兄らしいことといえば、それを王兵に語り、彼らをいじめただけだ。父のようになりたくて、私なりに必死だった。
You know, the further that this goes on, the more and more I become convinced that our theory of, like, them having to learn lessons and, like, become better people makes more sense. Because I feel like in this episode, more than any other parts before, the characters are actually, like, changing, you know? Like, they're starting to recognize what they're doing wrong and why it's wrong. And the biggest culprit of that is Beatadice right now. Like, as soon as she lost her power.
Yeah.
You know? So, it's interesting.
だが、いつもそれは及ばず、そのはけしかし、それは言い訳にならん。エヴァにもまだ傷が癒えぬほどに深い心の傷を負わせてしまっただろう。悔いているが、今さらそれを詫びたところでその傷が癒えるわけもない。
あなたがその気持ちを今だけでなく持ちつつ、その気持ちはきっと他の兄弟たちにも伝わりますよ。
今となっては他の兄弟もエヴァを残すのみだがね。
Yeah.
もしあなたとあなたのご兄弟が生まれた家が後宮家でさえなかったなら、もっともっと普通な楽しい兄弟の関係であったでしょうに。
それを言ってはならん。エヴァは生涯私を憎み続けるだろう。そしてその資格がある。私はそれを甘んじて受け止めるつもりだ。
あなた。
エヴァ、すまん。
Wow.
もちろん許さなくていい。
もちろん許さないわ。
Oh no.
I knew it. I knew it.
悪いと思ったなら今すぐへそでも噛んで死んじゃえ
Just
ば。
die.
やっちゃえ、シエスタ姉妹。
They're booting up their targeting computers.
45、射撃許可治療。射撃曲線再確認。飛行誤差修正。410へデータリンク。410データ受領。射撃許可確認。にひひひひ、射撃。
Together, the sisters released the readied magic bowstring. A beautiful tail trailed the golden arrow, and it drew a beautiful curve as it flew. It was just like a golden snake. It skillfully avoided a grove of trees and flew towards the front door of the guest house. Then it flew into the keyhole of the door and snuck into the guest house without any problem at all. The gold snake raced down the hall smoothly, yet as fast as an arrow. Right in front of it was the door to the lobby. It would only need to fly into that keyhole and Kraus and Natsuhi would be right there. For an instant, Kraus thought he saw the door's keyhole sparkle gold. However, at the same time, he strained his eyes to see what it was. That sparkle bent like a whip and attacked, wrapping itself around Kraus's neck.
F.
Just looking at it, the gold snake looked very supple. However, it was as though a wire had tightened around Kraus's neck. And while that snake choked Kraus, it extended even more and also tightened around Natsuhi's neck. Without even the chance to scream, their eyes bulged as they went into convulsions and then collapsed.
45命中および死亡確認。牽引曲線形成補正点修正。410データリンク。410データ受領。死体牽引開始。2匹も釣れた2匹。
The gold snake began to drag Kraus and Natsuhi's bodies back. It slipped through the door to the corridor, dragging the bodies gradually increasing in speed. And in the blink of an eye, it had pulled them outside the guest house. So the lobby was still, as though nothing had happened at all. As though Kraus and Natsuhi had never been there to begin with. Only the sound of the wind and the rain remained, as though feigning ignorance and pretending that they had been the only ones there.
ごめんなさい。もう大丈夫よ。今コーヒーを入れるわね。
Ava returned from the lavatory, but no one was in the lobby.
Oh.
Even though they had been in that sofa until the very moment she had choked and gone to the laboratory. Laboratory? Sorry, lavatory. Lavatory. They had now gone as if they had been an illusion from the beginning.
不用心ね。二人揃ってどこに行っちゃったの？
Like she was pretending to be in a detective novel, Ava put her hand on the sofa. She felt the warmth indicating that they had been sitting there until a short while ago. Maybe they had gone to do the rounds or something. For the time being, Ava sat down and waited for their return. Beato and George could be seen in the parlor of the mansion. George was kneeling near Shannon's body as though praying. His face was sincerity itself, and there was even sweat on his forehead. However, Beato was the same. Now that she had handed her name over, most of her previous power had been lost. Of course, she still had more than enough power to be called a witch, but compared to the past, it was a very faint thing.
いいぞ。声をかける。手で触れるな。心の声で呼べ。心の手で求め。そなたの強き思いだけ。シャノンの失われた魂。
George maintained a single-minded focus. He kept frantically yelling inside his heart, trying to call back the soul of the person he loved. He strongly envisioned his soul leaving his body and searching for her as she wandered through hell. Beato turned that strong force into magical power, supplementing her own magic. It was magic that, in the past, she could have performed easily without anyone's help. But now, if she didn't rely on someone's help, she wouldn't be able to finish the chant, much less succeed.
数百年近くも忘れておったわ。魔法と反言とはこんなに辛い魔法であったか。
An even more strained expression than George's had risen to Beato's face. She was still forgetting this, but the magic to revive a life is fundamentally the ultimate hidden art. It was her previous magical power, giving her the ability to use that magic over and over with the snap of her fingers, that was abnormal. Therefore, the heavy burden to her body and mind was, by rights, absolutely to be expected.
しかし、こやつめの力、魔法を知らぬというかなりなるほど。さすがは金蔵の孫といったところか。
The strong power pouring from George was even large enough to pass as magical power. At first, Beato thought it was due to the blood of the mage Kinzo. However, that was probably wrong. She had a feeling that Battler had taught her that. George's power to feel sorrow for the death of his loved one arose from the way he had tried his hardest through his life. From the warm time spent together with Shannon and from the size of their shared dream, promising each other their futures. Do humans really live this seriously during their one single life? Of course they do. To her, a life didn't mean anything more than the difference between the top and bottom of an Othello piece. If the black represented death, then she thought all you had to do was flip it over again and make it white. However, it was just like that broken vase. To humans in a world without magic where they can never return it to its original form, it is very, very natural for them to bet all their body and soul on that single life.
生死すら自在にする無念の魔女、死の山さえ越えられぬ有限の人間に劣ることもあるというのか。
Now the witch acknowledged it. He was able to hold a magical power that could not reside in witches who didn't understand the value of a life. What is this thing called the Endless Magic for again? Even though I call myself the Endless Witch, have I been forgetting what the Endless Magic means for a whole 1,000 years? She looked at George's expression again. His surging earnestness was like a lightning bolt. Right now, even if George's body was burned or smashed by a waterfall, he would probably continue to pray for his beloved without minding it, without noticing it. Well, I don't know about that, but... For the first time, she showed respect for that power. So in that instant, all magical resistance was lost, and the enormous power of George's feelings turned into magical power in its perfect form. The vase was very, very beautiful, rich with history and value. Even as young as I was, it still forced me to take a deep breath when I witnessed its beauty.
Shannon is a vase confirmed.
Well, she is furniture. Although a vase isn't furniture, but it's close enough. But that just made me want to touch it. But the vase easily fell and smashed into smithereens. Like a popped bubble, it felt as though the time when it had possessed a form was just an illusion. It was that fragile, that easily lost, that life. I realized that, because of my own foolish curiosity, I had done something that couldn't be taken back. No matter how much I regretted it, no matter how much I apologized, that broken vase would not return to its original form. A lost life will not return to normal no matter what happens. I was frightened by the fact that my own frivolous action, even though it had been frivolous, had stolen a life that could never be revived again. And out of pity for the lost life, I cried. Out of fear of myself, who had made it become lost, I cried even more. I was sure that grandfather would also cry at the loss of his precious vase. I was sure that all of the people who thought fondly of grandfather would cry too when they saw him like that. By just the loss of a single life, the whole world would be filled with so much sadness. I cried even more at how terrible that would be. Beatrice appeared and spoke.
ならばお嬢様、この壺を魔法で蘇らせましょう。それで皆が幸せになれるなら、壺も魔法も精霊たちも喜んでそのために力を貸し、元のさあさあお嬢様、目を閉じて私と一緒にお歌を歌いましょう。
What form did you used to have?
さあさあ、目を閉じてごらんなさい。そして思い出してごらんなさい。あなたがどんな姿をしていたのか。それはきっととてもとても美しい姿。どうか私にあの姿をもう一度見せておくれ。
Those words of power powerfully knocked on the door to Hades. Her previous magic had powerfully knocked on the door to Hades in the same way. However, back then it was horribly violent, and earned the displeasure of the peacefully sleeping dead. However, this time was different. It was very powerful, but it was very kind and loving. The dead near the door opened their eyes, and called out to the other dead that there was a voice calling for someone to come back. The sadness of that voice calling from the outside touched the hearts of the dead, and trying to respond as quickly as possible, they searched for Shannon's lost soul. And then, they found it. They found the casket in which Shannon was peacefully sleeping. It truly was Shannon's soul, sleeping in the land of the dead. Inside a casket that was covered with rose petals frozen with frost, she was sleeping in peace. The dead silently lifted that casket up. While it looked like a funeral march at a glance, it had the complete opposite meaning. It was solemn, but filled with joy. It reminded the long-forgotten dead that they continued to be loved even after their deaths, and gave them all a warm sense of peace. Then, as though guided by a warm light from the heavens, Shannon's body floated up out of the casket. The dead watched her go. They squinted at that warm light, giving their respect to this unknown member of the living who had continued to hold on to his love for a person even after her death. Shannon's body was sucked into the light in the heavens and began to disappear. In the jet-black darkness of the land of the dead, the faint flickering of gold butterflies could be seen. It reminded them of the gentle stars in the night sky which they had long forgotten. George remembered being told that he must not say anything, and he hurriedly covered his mouth. However, it felt like his heart was trying to jump out of his throat, because he had seen Shannon's eyelids shake slightly. And then, those eyelids slowly opened. Shannon's eyes were there, but they were still covered in the frost of the land of the dead. However, the warmth of the human world, no. The warmth of her loved one who had called her soul back slowly dissolved that frost, and her eyes gradually regained their sparkle. Then, her eyes moved, and recognized George.
Georgie-san.
The return of best girl! It's
Bro.
happening. It's happening. As her lips shook weakly, Shannon definitely said that. The words were very faint. So much so that they normally wouldn't even have reached his ears. However, George clearly heard them. He heard his loved one, his fiancée, the one he loved most who should have been dead, call his name once again.
シャノ、僕がわかるかい？
ジョージさん、これは夢なの？
いや、これは夢じゃないよ。だからほら、つねっても冷めないよ。
As George said that, he softly pinched Shannon's cheek. It was how George had always responded in the past when Shannon had been surprised by something and had asked if she was dreaming. When Shannon felt the warm touch of George's finger on her cheek, and when George realized that the warmth of a living person had already returned to the cheek of his beloved, they both cried. With what words should a pair of lovers separated by death celebrate their reunion? The words of the human world are not enough to celebrate that. In short, they had no need of the words of this world. Shannon sat up and the two of them simply, wordlessly hugged each other. Shannon still didn't have much strength in her, and putting her arms around George's back took all she had. So George hugged her tightly to make up for that. To stop her from ever again going to a place beyond his reach, he hugged her so tightly and yet so gently. Shannon's fingers curled around George's back, and on her ring finger indeed shone the engagement ring George had given her. That strong sparkle was absolutely not the sparkle of diamond alone. There was, without doubt, a magical power there that only the two lovers could possibly feel. It was because that strong light existed that they had been able to find her casket in the land of the dead. Beato understood. That ring, no. The couple's feelings, in the form of that ring, had created this miracle. In that moment, George had definitely used magic. Beato had done nothing more than help him along. That magic had a magical power that could only reside in those who knew of the importance of life, and trying their hardest. It was the power of a miracle that an endless witch could not know, that only the power of the finite could give rise to. By now, she had no choice but to accept it. She had to accept that true magical power, existed in the place farthest away from she who called herself a great witch.
ベアトリーチェ様。
彼女が君を生き返らせてくれたんだ。ありがとう、ベアトリーチェ。
わらわは何もできなかった。シャノンを蘇らせたのはそなたの魔力、そなたの魔法、奇跡を成し遂げる後宮の地。確かに見届けさせてもらったぞ。
ジョージさんが私を。うん。
わらわなど足元にも及ばぬほどの凄まじき魔力であったぞ。わらわなどはまだまだ見習いの域を出ぬか。今こそ身の程を知ろうぞ。
Beato staggered backwards. Her physical strength was clearly exhausted. She had humbly said that George's power alone had revived Shannon, but Beato had also used all of her magical and physical strength. And she reflected upon how difficult it was to revive a single one of these lives, which she had toyed with however she wanted in the past. The couple kept each other in their tight embrace and showed no signs of letting go. Feelings that couldn't be communicated with a billion words were thus communicated between them.
ありがとう、ベアトリーチェ。君は僕たちの恩人だ。
ありがとうございます、ベアトリーチェ様。再びジョージ様に会わせてくださったこのご恩を決して忘れません。
よせよせ、愛し合う二人に感謝されては外道の極みと恐れられたわらわにはくすぐったすぎるというものよ。わらわのことは気にするな。存分に再会を祝い合え。
Beato, who was leaning her back against the wall, slid down the wall and sat. How many centuries had it been since she had last grown this tired from using magic? Probably not since the first time I succeeded in magic. Did Master praise me that time? Oh, but I myself killed that Master who praises me, didn't I? Don't be naive, Beatrice. In the end, that's what it means to kill something, right?
ようやく魔法の使い方を思い出したようですね。
頭ん中酸欠でカラッカラで思い出すもヘチマもねえぜ。それよりあんた殺したじゃねえかよ。現れるんじゃねえよ。
あなたが未だに私を生かしていますよ。だからこうして現れられます。もっともあなたの頭を撫でに来たわけでもありませんが。
無様なわらわをわざわざ嘲笑いに来たかよ。それに隠居までした魔女が今さら頭なんか撫でられちゃ他の魔女の笑い物だぜ。
そうですね。一人前どころか現役を退いたと豪語するあなたなのに、今頃になって魔法の使い方を覚えたなど恥ずかしくて誰にも言えませんね。
内緒にしてくれよ、お師匠様。
With a sense of pleasant despondency, Beato gazed at the couple hugging each other.
愛か勝てねえな。
45データ受領。
Okay.
Dear God.
You always know that they have to. You know they had to do it to us.
射撃準備完了。
Uh-huh.
弾種選定装填。 410射撃。
So frustrating.
にひ。
The golden serpentine arrow fired by the Chiesters weaved its way through the bushes in the rose garden, weaved its way through the hedges, and climbed the stone steps towards the mansion's entrance, aiming for the keyhole. It weaved through the corridors, and flew into the keyhole in the door to the parlor. It happened in an instant. It would have been difficult for Beato, who was completely worn out, to have noticed it beforehand. Right before Beato's eyes, the gold snake that flew in through the keyhole spun circles around the two lovers and pierced through their two hearts in the blink of an eye. And with meticulous precision, that gold snake ran through that hole in Shannon's chest once more. The two had been pierced through the heart by the gold snake. No, by the gold sewing thread used by the new brutal witch's furniture. And it had only taken an instant, so unfitting for the amount of effort it had taken to revive Shannon. Well, in front of Beato's shocked eyes, the two collapsed onto the floor.
Such a good moment ruined.
I know, right?
サノン。
ありがとう、ベアトリーチェ。わずかの間でも会わせてくれてありがとう。
George spent his last breath thanking Beato and died side by side with the one he loved. The gold snake, which still sewed the two in place, spun like a large cyclone, revolving around the inside of the parlor. It was searching for further kills in that room. Then the tip of the snake met Beato's gaze. In that instant, Beato prepared herself for death. Just then, Virgilia stood in front of her, the fingers of both her hands drawing a mark. In that instant, gold-colored gold leaf buried in the inside of the parlor. It was like a blizzard of gold.
ベアト、今のうちに逃げて。シエスタの黄金宮からは誰も逃れられない。
410標的失端。200魔法機回し。
What?
45了解。
What does that even
索敵変
mean?
更。対人画像追尾方式。
Magical chaff. It's like, Virgilia basically deployed countermeasures.
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
標的再捕捉。410へデータリンク。410データ受領。すっとろいに先代様。
Throw the heat-seeking missiles off their trail.
来て来て来て。着。
The Chiester sisters' golden bow would not let its kill escape. It would not let them block it. No magical barrier could even dream of blocking it without being multi-layered. The weak point during the instant of confusion caused by Virgilia's deception magic was Beato's only chance to escape, and the only opportunity to make the sisters confuse Virgilia for Beato. As Virgilia spread her arms wide, blocking the way to her beloved disciple, the gold snake pierced straight through the location of her heart. The snake, which had snuck in through the keyhole, shot through George and Shannon, then shot through Virgilia in an instant.
Oh no.
Completely failed to notice as Beato escaped. As soon as Virgilia saw that Beato had gotten away, she expired! Rip. The strength left her body, and like gold dust drifting with the wind, her form was erased. Beato completely erased all traces of her magical power, became gold butterflies, and passed through the wall, escaping to the wind and rain outside.
Now she sounds like Battler.
Yeah, I know, right? That was really Battler-like. Beato felt sick from the bottom of her heart. Why? Because she had been attacked by the new witch? Probably not. Of course, she also felt sick over the loss of her new master. But even more than that, Beato was enraged at the barbarism which had boorishly stolen the union between the two reunited lovers. Beato had poured out almost all of her magical power to reunite them. That miracle had been achieved only as a result of all that, yet it had taken such a short time to steal it away. Beato trembled at the barbarous cruelty which had ended it so fast, and it was also the true form of the act she herself had committed up until that point. So just as strongly as Beato hated the new witch, she looked at her previous self with disgust. But now, she had to escape. If she was targeted next, she would probably lose her life. And it wouldn't even be funny if the chess player, descended like a god, ended up being attacked and killed by the pieces.
45着弾確認標的資産間違いなく先代様を撃破しました。また私たちの撃墜気象が増えちまうね。にひ愛し合う二人なんだっけ。引き裂いて一度合わせて二度もう一度引き裂いて三度楽しめるだっけ。そのついでにあのクソうるさいババアまでさよならできて最高にご機嫌よ。ロノウェ文句ないわよね。
ございますベアトリーチェ様。
あいつは魔女の碑文の儀式を妨害したのよ。第一の番の生贄を勝手に蘇らせて私の儀式を妨害したわ。文句言われる筋合いなんかなんにもないわよ。
Ava Beatrice, you're stupid.
Well, she's not stupid, she's just psychotic and
She got tricked.
Oh, that's true, she did get tricked. So what happens when she tries to talk to Virgilia and Virgilia isn't there?
I don't think she'll try to talk to Virgilia. I don't even know if she knows Virgilia exists, does she?
I thought she did. Didn't
maybe.
she meet her at her coronation?
That's true. She might have met her at her coronation.
But regardless, Beato at least has some time before she figures it out.
Yeah.
しかしずるいなあ。あのババアも思いっきり何度も無限にいじめ殺して遊んでやろうと思ったのに。
You see the look he gave her?
Yeah.
That was good.
”ジョージが来てないわよ。いつ降りたのよ。
いつって、あれは何時くらいだったっけ。
確か4時か5時くらいだったかな。最低でも1時間以上は前だよ。
俺たち眠くなってその後は多分居眠りしてたし、でも多分ジェシカの言う通りだと思うぜ。1時間か2時間くらい前だった。
私もそのくらいの頃だと記憶しています。
Is this a new track?
Is it? Well, what is this track called? Mind?
I didn't see.
It might be a new track.
It sounds new.
コーヒーのおかわりはいるかと聞かれましたからな。
Something hard to believe had happened. Apparently, when Auntie Ava had left for a second to visit the laboratory, Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki had disappeared. There's no way they went hiding somewhere. Of course, the doors and windows had all been rigorously checked, and all were locked from the inside. Not one of them was broken. And that wasn't just the first floor. The second floor was the same. Also, all of the doors and windows were designed in such a way that they couldn't be locked from the outside. In other words, there was no way that Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki had gone outside. And yet, they couldn't be found. Furthermore, they weren't the only ones who had disappeared. Excuse me. Astonishingly, George Aniki had too. George Aniki had left saying that he was going to get more coffee, and had gone downstairs more than an hour earlier. I'd been under the impression that he was having a good conversation with Auntie Ava and the rest, but Auntie Ava, who had been in the lobby the whole time, said that no one had come down. Since all of the doors and windows are locked from the inside, it's hard to imagine that they went outside. Nevertheless, 3 humans had evaporated from this barricaded guest house, which had become a perfect locked room. Oh my...
Oh, jeez.
Another one?
Jeez Louise.
I can't handle this. It's hard to imagine any reason why they'd hide themselves away for a surprise prank in a situation like this. It's probably appropriate to think that they've become caught up in the crime. When Auntie Ava learned that her only son was missing, she went half insane, running from room to room and yelling his name loudly. And Jessica, who had suddenly lost both of her parents, followed suit. Cries of George, George, and Mom, Dad were even now continuing to echo through the guest house. I think George said something about wanting to see Shannon's face. It would be reasonable to imagine that he had snuck out of the guest house and gone to the mansion. However, I don't know about Uncle Kraus and Aunt Natsuki. Maybe they guessed that's what happened and went to the mansion to search for him, without even telling Auntie Ava. At this rate, it's only a matter of time before we start talking about leaving the guest house to search for them. At this point, I'd be in favor of that. We said that shutting ourselves up inside the guest house would be safe, and shut ourselves in this morning as a big, happy family of 12 people.
And how'd that work out?
Yeah. And yet, now there are only 4 people here. In other words, being here does not imply safety. However, there's something even more important that we mustn't forget. That's the fact that all of the doors and windows were locked from the outside. This is a locked room.
Oh.
How had they vanished from this place? Maho. We'd searched around thoroughly. However, we were unable to find any signs of anyone hiding. The 3 of them had almost certainly been taken outside the guest house.
どうやってでしょう。まさか隠し扉とかがあるとか。
隠し扉？
扉も窓も外から閉めることは構造上不可能です。釣り糸の類を使ってもこの構造では無理でしょうな。となれば扉や窓以外から出たと考えるのが妥当でしょう。
確かにそういう論法にもなるだろうよ。隠し扉が存在しないなんて断言は。しかしそういう発想に飛躍する前に俺はもっとシンプルな可能性も疑ってる。
と申しますと？
For some time, Battler had been opening windows, opening the shutters and checking outside, and repeating this for each window.
この窓は静かだな。なるほど。この窓は他と違って建物の構造上風が吹き込まないわけか。
そのようですな。こんなにも外は風雨なのに雨も風も入ってこないとは不思議な気持ちです。
南條先生、今窓を開けた時音を感じたかい？
いえ、気にはなりませんでしたな。よく油が効いていると思います。
つまり誰も見ていない廊下の窓からひょろっと抜け出すことは可能なわけだ。
And fall 3 floors, yes.
Yeah, right?
しかもこの窓なら風も吹き込まないから風圧でカーテンや扉が音を立てることもない。静かなもんさ。
Battler leaned out and looked at the ground below. He was searching for some sign that George had jumped down. But at a glance, he didn't see any mark like that on the grass in the middle of the pouring rain.
こういう窓が1階にもあるのかもしれない。誰にも気づかれず表へ出ることは可能だぜ。
しかし扉はおろか窓は全て施錠されて鎧戸まで閉まっていましたぞ。出ることは可能でも閉めることは不可能だ。
閉められるぜ。こうやって。 カチャン。
Battler closed the window and locked it, as though this was perfectly obvious.
まさかバトラさんは。
最後に中の人間が鍵を閉めればこんな密室は朝飯前だ。
Nanjo just dumped George out the window. Out you go!
しかしそれでは。
And then locked the window.
Yep.
それでは。
Shut up, Nanjo. We know it was you.
Ooh.
Stop acting like you don't know what's... Stop acting like you're surprised.
You really hate Nanja.
No, I don't. I just, like, throw him under the bus.
He is kind of fun to make fun of. Nanja turned pale and shook his head several times. Because the thing that Battler said was presenting a certain truth to him that was frightening even to imagine.
俺の想像したトリックならな。しかしこんなトリックを使えば怪しまれる人物は極めて限定される。
He didn't want to say it in front of Nanjo, but after eliminating Jessica, who had been with him the whole time, the only ones who could have done it were Nanjo and Ava.
私はそんなことをしませんぞ。
Yes, it was you.
誓ってもいい。
You pushed him out the window. You killed him.
エヴァおばさんと南條先生のアリバイ合戦ってことになる。俺たちは二人とも怪しんで。
And why would Ava kill her own
それぞれ
son?
を別々に監禁すればいいだけの
Yeah,
話。
exactly.
逆に言えばこのトリックはもっと生存者が多ければ有効かもしれないが、これだけ人数が減った状況下では大して有効ではないんだ。
No, in fact, there was a chance they could dig their own grave with it. It should have been more expedient to make it look like the culprit was outside, and to intentionally leave a door unlocked or break a window.
もしこの失踪劇が今日の昼にでも起これば、俺は自信満々にこの説を発表しただろうよ。だがこの段階に至っては何なんだこいつは。一体何を意味してやがるんだこの密室はよ。
やはりその。
なんだい南條先生、思いつきでもいいから言ってくれよ。
Because Dr. Nanjo looked like he was trying to swallow his words despite having thought of something, I urged him on. After he refused several times, saying that it was just a foolish idea, he finally said it out loud.
イエソン、やはりこれは本当に魔女の仕業ではないのか。
Nanjo, stop throwing responsibility off your own shoulders.
バカバカしい。
Baka-bakashi.
魔女なんているわけがねえぜ。
魔女は私たちに訴えたいのです。人間にはできないことをやってのけるからこそ、自分を魔女だと認めさせたいに違いないのです。私はこのゲストハウス全体の密室からの失踪は、そういう魔女からのメッセージだと感じています。考えてはならないのです。意味なんてきっとないのです。私は恐ろしい。
As Dr. Nanjo shook with fear, it looked like he was trying to erase the fearsome thoughts that he kept imagining, one after the other. When we went downstairs, Auntie Ava and Jessica were enraged, were each making a lot of noise about leaving this place and searching for their respective families. It was a desire that naturally hits those who can no longer see their family. Auntie Ava told Dr. Nanjo and me to stay here, but I shook my head and started walking.
もう引きこもりはたくさんだぜ。俺も外の空気を吸いたくなってきた。
ああ、行くならさっさと行こうぜ。もうこんなところに閉じこもってるのは真っ平さ。早く父さんや母さんやジョージ兄さんを探しに行く。
Oh yes, let's go out of the safe house.
Where 3 of our family members have disappeared, most likely. We'll be safe. The blood had all risen to Jessica's head. Which one? I hope it doesn't set off her asthma.
残りたい人は勝手に残ってればいいわ。とにかく私たちは表を探してくるわ。
南條先生はどうする？一人で留守番してるかい？
いえ、私もご一緒させてください。
If the alternative was holding up alone in a guest house, security was by no means guaranteed. It would be better to be in a danger zone as a group of 4 people. Danger zone! Auntie Ava was holding the gun. Moving separately from her was almost like asking to be made into the next victim. In this way, the four of us decided to leave the guest house. We barricade ourselves in, saying we'd be safe if we did, and then lost 8 people. It was almost as though this had been nothing more than a holding cell from which the sacrifices could be killed one after another. We removed the chain, unlocked the front door, and opened it. It was already pitch black out. While there was some lights outside which dimly lit the pathway, they didn't have enough power to illuminate the darkness that some suspicious person was likely to be hiding in.
行くわよ。遅れても知らないんだからね。
Still holding her gun, Auntie Ava dashed out with... Jessica followed after her. After looking at each other, Dr. Nanjo and I chased after them.
What's gonna happen?
It's about to hit the fan. What in the world is happening in this mansion? On this island? Since yesterday, I've just been shut up in the cousin's room in the guest house with the rest of my cousins. So I don't know anything about what's been going on outside. Just what has been happening in those places I don't know about. Outside the room, in the mansion, and on this island. Everything is occurring, everything is proceeding, and everything is ending without my knowing it. Somewhere in my heart, I had already begun to give up. Most likely, not one of us will see tomorrow morning. When the seagulls cry, none shall be left alive.
Dun dun dun!
And glass break! Wow.
Well.
Woo.
You said shit's about to get real.
It definitely,
It definitely will.
yeah.
Because we're about to, hit the final stretch here.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So guys, if you've made it to the end of the episode, thank you for watching. Just one quick thing. The semester is over for us, so we are currently on summer break. We're not going to be recording, I don't think at all, in person together, but we'll be recording like this over, we're using a program called Parsec, where I'm streaming my screen to him, and he's able to interact with it as well. So we'll be progressing along like this, and hopefully that means we'll be able to record a bit more than we usually do. So look for some increased pacing, and next time you should see the conclusion and the climax to episode 3.
Woo.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Together.
It's all falling apart. It's all falling to pieces. Everything's gonna go boom.
I'm excited.
Oh yeah. Later, guys.